Hello, folks. Well, we are at a point that I would think lots of Christians and conservatives prayed for but never expected to happen. And that is the Roe versus Wade being up for striking down. And that's quite shocking. It's one of those things that you probably pray for and that you wish would change, but you never expect it to happen because you think that's just too big. Well, nothing's too big for our God, right? And here we are. And I said, of course, I don't trust the Supreme Court. I think they are, crooked. I wouldn't trust them. But I would respect if I think they're doing something good for people. And now this forces us into an important conversation. And the left always tries to say they have science, we don't. I think even they are going to have to admit that they do understand the facts of life, and they do understand where babies come from, and they are in denial when it comes to abortion. They must think there's some kind of magical thinking that if you wish it not to be a real baby, then it will suddenly not be a real baby. And that we know that's not true. So, in this case, the left is in denial about science. Because if they were going to have a real baby and that they wanted, they would do the same thing that they did to get the one they don't want. So there is equality here. And we have to define humanity. And babies are humans too. They are future humans. We know they are. We know they grow up to be humans. Which they're all currently humans. And the left is left without excuse. Left is left without excuse. They know what they're doing. They're blocking it out. They're pretending not to. And I said, we need to have a wider conversation about our culture here. Our culture of irresponsibility, a culture that promotes sexuality in such a way that leads us down this path that has caused abortions to explode over the last few decades. We need to have a conversation about this. I think there needs to be, technically disclaimers. Disclaimers on all the, contraceptive sexual things that include, this activity could produce a child, here's your, this is where advertisements for baby things, advertisements for saving for your children for college. Just hit people with some reality. If you don't want a kid at this time in life, then you don't get involved in this activity, okay? We need to drive that home. But see, the left, there is big, big, big business in all kinds of sexual stuff. And it's probably like a mafia, very big business. And that is why they want to encourage things like abortion. And I think as a society and a culture, we need to, you have freedom, so they have the freedom to promote their, sex toys and this and that. But I think there ought to be some more education programs. If people think they don't understand how a baby is made, then there needs to be an effort. Just like how smoke, there's warnings on cigarettes, there's warnings on different products, this causes cancer. There needs to be warnings on different products saying if you engage in this activity, this could cause a baby, And there needs to be more education. Apparently the left missed those days in school and doesn't know how our babies come from, and that is why they continue to support an abortion agenda. So I believe this is a wake-up call to greater responsibility for all of us. We need to take responsibility for our lives and not just accept sex as a recreational sport. That is how the left treats it. It treats sex the same as hiking, boating, fishing, yachting, running. That's how it treats sex. It treats it as a part of everyday life that is a complete necessity. However, they do not promote that there are very real consequences to that, which you do not make a baby when you go jogging, hunting, hiking, swimming, vacationing. That doesn't cause anything, but So we do not consider that in the recreational category. It's a separate thing entirely. And the left wants to run away from responsibility and deny it and shove it under the rug however they can. But in the end, they cannot. They must face it. And this is an hour where facing it must come. So, I remember not too long ago I was on watching Ironsides, and I saw they had an episode about, the crime was some kind of abortion thing, and I'm like, ooh, they wouldn't do that today, because that was, back in the 60s when there was a crime. But who knows? We may be headed back that way again. Now, I'm sure what the overturning of the Roe versus Wade would do is bring the responsibility back to the individual states. So it's not just like a blanket rule for everyone. And of course the left doesn't like this because it makes it harder for them to get their claws into everything, because there are states and areas that are more conservative and that they will not, they'll have bans. And the left likes to be in control of everything. That's why they love federalizing everything, so they have everything under their thumb. But diversity is the strength of America, right? And everybody having their own, belief systems and their own concepts of right and wrong and everything is part of what makes America great, isn't it? Ha ha. Oh, the left only says that when it benefits them. So, even though, like I said, the abortion subject is a hard one to talk about, but the way I feel is that science does not lie, and we all know, we're adults, we know the facts of life. And if you want to plan your life in a certain way, you want to be footloose and fancy-free and travel and do this and do that and everything, then you want to put off having kids. And if you meet someone and you decide to change your mind, okay, then you decide you want to have kids instead of doing all the traveling, or you'd mix it in. But we need to have a conversation more along the lines of responsibility. And no more just recreation without thinking of the gravity of the situation. So I say warning labels and advertisements accompanying sexual products with promotions for baby products, family products, college savings plans, child life insurance, all that kind of thing. So we need to foster a responsible dialogue about reproduction and families in America, and not irresponsible as the left would prefer it to be. All right. Thank you for watching. Let freedom ring.